Welcome to this explainer. Now, if you've ever felt that sudden, overwhelming knot in your stomach right before walking up to a stranger to share your faith, you are exactly in the right place. Today, we're looking at an incredible set of resources pulled from decades of fieldwork and profound spiritual texts to address something very, very specific: Dawah anxiety. I really want to set a reassuring tone right out of the gate here. We're going to map out a structured, comforting, and highly practical way out of that social anxiety. We aren't just going to tell you to be brave. Instead, we're going to dive into the profound spiritual wisdom that actually gives you a framework to dismantle that fear, piece by piece. Okay, let's dive right into this. Here is your personal roadmap out of the woods. First, the fear is human. Second, reframing your anxiety. Third, the ultimate safety net. Fourth, practical steps to begin. Fifth, mastering your mindset. And finally, a legacy of courage. We're going to tackle this step by step. Section 1. The fear is human, a totally natural reflex. You know, the absolute biggest paradigm shift you can make right now is understanding that feeling social anxiety or fear before speaking to a stranger, it's not a weakness. It is a completely normal, highly predictable human reflex. The goal isn't to pretend you don't feel it. The goal is to understand it so well that it no longer controls your actions. And the source material brilliantly illustrates exactly what I mean. This quote is from Surah Taha, capturing the prayer of Musa, or Moses. He was tasked with confronting Pharaoh, who was arguably one of the most intimidating figures in history. And what does Musa do? He literally asks the Creator for direct, specific help with his chest and his tongue before this difficult encounter. Just think about that for a second. A major prophet is explicitly asking for his chest to be expanded and the knot in his tongue to be untied. If a figure of that magnitude needed help dealing with the physical symptoms of anxiety before confrontation, your fear of approaching a stranger, that's deeply human. It's not a flaw at all. It's just our shared human baseline. Our source material from Sahih al-Bukhari expands on this beautifully. The Prophet explicitly instructed his companions not to let the fear of people prevent them from speaking the truth. By specifically calling out the fear of people, he is validating that it genuinely exists. We can actually call this prophetic permission. It's literally permission to feel the fear. The trap we always fall into is thinking we have to wait until we feel perfectly confident before we speak up. But the sources are telling us the exact opposite. You acknowledge the fear as a natural tendency, but you choose to act anyway. You speak despite the fear, not in the absence of it. Moving on to section 2. Reframing your anxiety and redirecting that fear. So now that we've validated the emotion, we need to cognitively reframe it. We're going to take that exact same fearful energy and just redirect it. We need to look at the hierarchy of what or who is actually causing that knot in your stomach. Ask yourself this honestly the next time your heart rate spikes when a stranger walks by. Am I fearing a created being more than the Creator who sent me to speak? According to Surah Al-Ahzab, the true conveyor of the message is someone who fears only the divine, not the judgment, rejection, or embarrassment from other people. When you pause and really ask yourself this probing question, it fundamentally shifts your perspective. You take the anxiety you're projecting onto a random passerby and redirect that energy into a profound reverence for the Creator. Suddenly, the stranger's opinion just loses its power over you. Now, let's break down the psychology of the burden itself. On one side, you've got what your anxiety tells you, that this interaction is going to be a crushing, unmanageable catastrophe. But on the other side is reality, grounded in Surah Al-Baqarah, which clearly states that no soul is burdened beyond what it can bear. Here is the logical takeaway. If you find yourself in a position to share your faith, your capacity to handle that exact moment has already been perfectly and accurately assessed by the Creator. The burden has been measured and deemed entirely manageable for your specific soul. You just have to trust that divine assessment over the panic-driven assessment your anxiety is making in the moment. Which brings us to section 3, the ultimate safety net, or the division of labor. You know, one of the biggest drivers of social anxiety is this illusion that we somehow have to control the outcome of the conversation. But just look at this guarantee from Surah Al-Hijr. We are sufficient for you against the mockers. The sources also point to Surah Al-Ma'idah, where a direct promise is made to protect the messenger from the people. Think about how much fear just stems from worrying about a hostile reaction, a mocker, or someone entirely rejecting you. This text provides an absolute, unconditional guarantee of safety. The outcome of the conversation is simply not on your shoulders. So the crucial point here is this concept of the division of labor. And honestly, understanding it is the key to unlocking your confidence. Your job description is incredibly simple. You are only responsible for speaking the message, period.
That's the whole shebang. The creator takes full responsibility for handling the person's reaction, whether they smile, walk away, or mock you. That isn't in your job description. Grasping this division of labor should release an enormous amount of pressure. You aren't failing if they reject the message, because managing their heart is just not your department.
All right, Section 4, Practical Steps to Begin Using Graduated Exposure. We've laid the spiritual and psychological groundwork, so let's get highly tactical with graduated exposure. Our source material draws on 25 years of fieldwork experience to give you a concrete playbook to systematically dismantle your hesitation. If you're terrified, please do not leap straight into trying to have a 30-minute theological debate. Build your confidence in small, manageable stages. Step 1, just stand there, make eye contact, and smile at passersby. Seriously, that is a win. Once your nervous system realizes you aren't in danger, move to Step 2. Just offer a greeting of peace, a simple salam or hello. Step 3, simply extend your hand and offer a leaflet. Step 4, ask a simple, open question. By breaking the approach down into these micro steps, you are literally training your brain that the environment is safe. Let's rapid fire through these essential preparation habits. First, make reciting the prayer of Musa your non-negotiable pregame ritual. Second, role play. Practice 3 opening lines out loud with a friend. Most anxiety lives in the blank space of the first few seconds. Having rehearsed openers completely removes that panic. Third, set a concrete target, like speaking to just 3 people. Vague, open-ended goals feed anxiety, but a specific number kills it. Once you hit 3, you're done. Anything else is just a bonus. Finally, debrief. Write down 1 positive interaction every single time. Over a few months, you'll build a massive personal evidence base proving that you can absolutely do this. Let's move into Section 5, Mastering Your Mindset by Reframing the Signal. Let's look really closely at what is actually happening in your body when you feel that rush of nerves, and how elite performers handle those exact same physical sensations. It all comes down to interpretation. An untrained mind views an elevated heart rate and sweaty palms as a stop sign, a warning to retreat to safety. But consider the mindset of elite athletes, surgeons, and public speakers. They feel the exact same physical sensations, but they interpret them as a signal. They know that this discomfort means they're doing something that genuinely matters. That rush of adrenaline is there to sharpen your focus and heighten your presence, not to weaken you. Reframe that biological response. It just means you are stepping up to the plate. And finally, Section 6, A Legacy of Courage and Profound Tradition. Let's bring all these practical steps and mindset shifts together and anchor them to a deep historical legacy. You have to realize, you aren't just handing out leaflets, you are stepping into a profound tradition. The sources cite this powerful text from Sunan al-Tirmidhi. Speaking the truth in the face of immense power and danger is considered the highest form of striving. Therefore, taking the time to share your faith with a stranger is an act of profound courage that carries enormous spiritual weight. Of course you feel anxious. The anxiety you feel beforehand is entirely appropriate and justified, because what you are doing matters immensely. You are taking the right thing seriously. Let's see how this builds into the ultimate historical proof of concept. Consider the biography of Musab ibn Umair. As a young man, he was sent entirely alone to a new city, Medina. He had no prior experience, no team, no support structure to lean on. He was doing this completely from scratch, carrying all the vulnerability that comes with approaching strangers. Yet, despite the fear he surely must have felt, he transformed the entire city within months. His story normalizes the vulnerability you feel and shows you exactly what becomes possible when you decide to act anyway. I want to leave you with this final, vital thought. As we've seen, the fear is human. We've seen the division of labor that guarantees your safety. We have the practical steps to start small. So if the fear you are feeling right now is simply the biological signal that precedes doing something that genuinely matters, what will your next word of truth build? The tools are all right there in front of you. The legacy is waiting for you to step into it. It's time to take a deep breath, trust the division of labor, and just say hello. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and I hope it empowers you to take that next great step.